good amount of people are against VAR. 75% of the fans in the Premier League, in fact, are against VAR. Now, me personally, I don't think it can be gone. And let me tell you why. I think when we look at just the one game, Newcastle and Aston Villa, there was three massive, massive mistakes with the referee, and there's no VAR. Now, let me be straight. VAR 100% has taken away a lot of the spontaneity and excitement of the game. Obviously, not all of it, but a fair amount of it. But it's important because, there's certain statistics that have been released where it's about, 100 overcorrections in a season. And what I mean by that is your team might concede an offside goal or a goal where the striker fouls your center back or something like that. And 100 times in a season, VAR has corrected that. Now, I know sometimes it's literally like an inch away with the offside, but offside is just offside. And sometimes, you want your team to obviously score the goal and it's offside and it's unfortunate. But lad, conceding to an offside goal is honestly one of the worst things. So that is just a prime example of how important it is. And now that we've been exposed to it, we've been seeing it so much and we're used to it. I think just having it ripped away, and then you can clearly see on the TV that the ref gets it wrong, but there's no VAR to correct him, and then your team loses the league because of that. I think that's where a lot of people would instantly want it back. Now, what I will say as well is it's introduced. VAR is in the game, but it's obviously not perfect. It's people want it to stay, but with better refereeing and better analysts using it. I think that's the key. If it was fully ripped out, that's where we see those massive mistakes. But if it's in, the refs are getting it wrong or they're taking too much time. And it's little things like that. But we've seen in the past 2 years, it's gone down 25% in times it takes to reach a decision. So obviously improvements in the timing is massive. And then in terms of accuracy and getting it right, I think it's like a 94% correction rate, which realistically needs to be 100. I don't know how you can get it wrong when you have multiple screens and you know what a foul is and isn't, or what an offside is and isn't. But sometimes they manage just to not get it. Like the one, again, I'm an Arsenal fan, but it's just the one at St. James's Park where Newcastle, I think the ball's out of bounds, foul and offside all in one, and then the VAR, they released it and they just somehow got all of that wrong. People will probably tell me that I'm the one thinking it's wrong. Maybe that's the case. But my point is the time it takes, the inaccuracy with this great technology, we don't know how it's possible. Because that, with good timing, that brings back the spontaneity, the celebrations, the excitement. With getting it right, obviously then you just don't run the risk of... I don't think people don't want VAR because they're getting 94% of the calls right. Like a ref with on manual mode, think about no technology, a ref on manual mode, he's probably getting 90% of the calls, 80% maybe, we'll see. Obviously there's some dodgy stuff, but the computer's getting a lot more. It's just the time it takes. Now, I also think that where it's at right now is a perfect spot, without the corner checks, without the second yellow, or without the first yellow checks. But we will see those being tested in the World Cup. Now, yeah, I think it can be a positive thing, but it is just a contradiction to them saying they're going to lower the time. Imagine, as an Arsenal fan, we get about 20 corners a game. Imagine every single one is checked by VAR. No, it wouldn't be every single one, but it would be a lot of them, the vast majority, especially those ones where, both the players are going for it, the fullback, the winger, they slide for it. We don't know who it goes off. That would take ages to check. And, Gabriel's going to get on the end of the corner and score. So I guess in that case, it's worth it. But again, it's just contradicting the fact they say it'll take less time. Now, the yellows, we can see that being probably a good thing overall, but it just takes time once again. The two Kovacic fouls on, I think it was Odegaard and Rice, if I'm not mistaken, in the City Arsenal one a few seasons ago. Both of those I wish would have been checked, but just because it's a yellow, it wasn't. That being said, I think sometimes, it's just a yellow, just give him a yellow and, just move on. Obviously in that game, don't get me wrong, I was fuming, but in the vast majority of games, you don't want VAR intervening for 10 minutes on a potential yellow. Maybe if it's a second yellow, maybe. I don't know. But like I said, we'll see in the World Cup how it goes. But to summarize, a lot of people are upset at VAR in general, and understandably. I think mostly to the timing and taking away the spontaneity. But if they fix the timing like they're on track, I think it can be good. The refs are more accurate with it. VAR in general is helping the sport. Yeah, it can be frustrating at times, and it can go against your team, whether you score and it's canceled or you thought the team fouled you when they scored, but they didn't. Things like that are annoying, but it needs to happen. It's fair. And now that we've been exposed to it, it'll be hard to go back to manual mode, like we've seen in the Newcastle Aston Villa match. Let me know your thoughts, how you feel. Don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger. All right, boys. Enjoy the evening. Cheers.